Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to talk about the Star Trek cruise. The Star Trek cruise is the second cruise that themed Star Trek. The first one sailed in 2017 and the main host was William Shatner, or Captain Kirk. In the second cruise, the one I went, the host or the main host was George Takei, or Sulu, from the original series. Now first let me tell you that I highly recommend this cruise for anybody that is interested in Star Trek. In fact, if you are a Star Trek fan, going to this cruise is almost a must in my opinion. And that's because the experience of the cruise is very different, or is different compared to going to a Star Trek convention. Last year I went to the Star Trek Las Vegas convention, which is the biggest convention about Star Trek in the world. I had a blast, it was a great experience, but there was a lot of people there, and it was kind of difficult and stressful to go through the different shows and events. But the cruise feeling was much more relaxed and was easier to navigate. So basically you have all the features of a NCL cruise combined with a Star Trek convention. Now I want to say that the shows that were featured in the cruise were different from the ones I have seen in the conventions. I'll tell you a few of them. For example, they show a Star Trek episode in a big screen on one of the main theaters, and the stars were there from the series, and they pause the episode and will make comments about it. It was very interesting and fun to watch their reaction to episodes that happened 20 or 30 years ago and they haven't seen in a long time, and also to see the reaction from the audience. That is something that I haven't seen in conventions. Another kind of show that I really enjoyed was the ones where the actors portray their Star Trek characters. For example, Nana visitors and Renee represented their roles or reenacted their roles as Kira and Odo from Deep Space Nine. It was amazing to see how these amazing actors transform into those characters once again after so many years, and it was like almost watching them on one of the episodes, but this was up close and you could see their facial expressions. I mean, they really transformed into those characters, even though they were not wearing, the uniforms or the costumes from the series. And that brings me to a point that I differentiate the cruise experience from the regular conventions. And is, first of all, there is about 2,000 people in the cruise, and not all those people are at the same place at the same time. They are very organized, and they organized shows, so only half of the people will attend at any given time. Also, the theaters are much smaller than a regular convention room, and what this happens is if you just get there maybe 5-10 minutes earlier, you are allowed to sit right in the front of the theater and see these actors right really up close. In a normal convention, you will have to pay extra to be able to sit in front of the theaters, or to have a reserved seat. But here in the cruise, first of all, I always found a good seat. If unless I think once I went maybe 10 minutes late to a show, and of course it was full. But if you get there on time, or maybe a few minutes before the event, you can always find a very good seat and have a very close look of the actors. And I thought that was remarkable. And of course that was without paying extra. So another thing is that you will see the actors going about in the cruise, in the common areas of the cruise. Although the actors have had a deck reserved for them, so they have a whole deck only for them, many of the actors kind of mingled in the common areas. Especially, I should say, Nana visitor was very active talking to the fans. Other actors you will see much less often, or maybe in the elevator, but still, I mean, compared to a normal convention, it's a much closer experience with the actors. And you may even be able to talk to them at certain points, and some of them may be even approach to you, especially if you're wearing a cool costume or a very elaborated uniform or costume. Besides that, the cruise offered everything that a normal cruise will offer. It sailed to the Caribbean and had different stops where you can organize different excursions. Of course, the excursions or the destinations that this one went to, I have been before, so I really didn't book any excursions. And most of the excursions were really kind of more of a aquatic or sports or aquatic sports kind of excursions like scuba diving, etc., etc. But so if you like that, it will be even better. But if not, going to these ports will give you an opportunity to shop or to have different excursions. Now, I had to mention that many of these excursions were actually hosted by the actors. So you could have an excursion with Armin Sherman or Quark from Deep Space Nine, and that will really make the excursion more memorable. Although I didn't experience them, I heard from other people in the cruise that took those excursions that it was really fun and great. So besides these events that are not really available or common in a normal convention, and the fact that you are very close to the stars and you can even talk to them, and there's another thing. Also, if you are interested in taking pictures or photo ops and autographs, the lines will be much shorter than in a regular convention. You will be able to get in and out very fast compared to the regular conventions, especially compared to the Las Vegas convention, which sometimes took hours to go through that process. In addition to this, the food is really good, and you have many options and different restaurants that you can choose from. And since the cruise, the boat was the Norwegian Jade, it's a mid-size cruise ship. Since it's mid-size, it's very easy and fast to get to all the theaters. So overall, I strongly recommend this cruise. And I also have to mention, before I forget, that the organizers really did a great job. For example, the cruise was decorated in a Star Trek theme. The elevators had panels that resemble, the L-car system from Star Trek. There were details all around the ship that made the cruise more enjoyable and more Star Trek themed. Besides that, every day we will have a goodie. Like, for example, one day we got some water bottles with the Star Trek design. We had also Star Trek t-shirts, backpacks or bags, and those little details that make you feel welcome and that any Star Trek fan will appreciate. So bottom line, guys, if you're a Star Trek fan, going to this Star Trek cruise is almost a must, in my opinion. If you are not a fan and you just enjoy Star Trek, it will be a good experience for you too. I went with my significant other, and she's not a Star Trek fan, but she, doesn't dislike it, but she also had a good time. Of course, she didn't enjoy it as much as I did, because when the actors talk about their roles in the series, she was not, she didn't know what they were talking about that much, but still, he got a good time, because many shows are not just about Star Trek, there are also regular performances, but with a Star Trek flavor or theme. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you went to one of these cruises, please let me know. Tell me if you agree with what I'm saying, what was your experience, and please, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and support my channel. Thank you so much, and I'm gonna leave you with the rest of this slideshow. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.